Good morning. This is Ellon Academy's virtual assembly on Wednesday, the 26th of January 2022. This week marks the start of my Shout Out About series of assemblies, and we're going to, over the next few weeks, tackle some significant and serious issues that we want to raise your awareness about. And this week we're going to look at sexism. So the definition of sexism, that it's prejudice or discrimination based on one's sex or gender. Sexism can affect anyone, but it primarily affects women and girls. It has been linked to stereotypes and gender roles, and it may include the belief that one sex or gender is intrinsically superior to another. That's a lot to think about, but I'm sure you're aware of what we're saying. So what is sexism and sexual harassment? Well, sexual harassment is unwanted behaviour of a sexual nature which violates a person's dignity, intimidates, degrades or humiliates someone, or creates a hostile or offensive environment. Sexual harassment can include verbal, non-verbal and physical acts, including sexual comments, taking upskirting photographs, or unwanted sexual touching. Unwanted sexual touching, wherein the target does not consent to the touching and the perpetrator does not reasonably believe they consent, constitutes sexual assault. And sexism can affect all genders and all gender identities, sexual orientation, age, disability, ethnicity, religion and social origin. It can affect anyone. So in schools, here are some statistics that I looked at on a recent study. Over a third, 37% of girls at mixed-sex schools have been sexually harassed whilst at school. Almost a quarter, 24% of girls at mixed-sex schools have been subjected to unwanted physical touching of a sexual nature whilst at school. 66% of girls and 37% of boys in mixed-sex sixth form, so 6 years, have experienced or witnessed the use of sexist language in schools. A quarter of all secondary school teachers say that they witness gender stereotyping and discrimination in their school on a daily basis. And over a third, 34% of primary school teachers say they witness gender stereotyping in their schools on at least a weekly basis. There's some significant figures there. So sexist language, again, as you can see, totally inappropriate and unacceptable. But both male and female pupils report in this study the common use of language which associates negative characteristics with being male or female. For example, saying to a boy or somebody who identifies as male, "You throw like a girl." Saying to a boy or somebody who identifies as male, "Man up." Or saying that to anyone, saying "that's so blonde," "that's so gay," saying that somebody has man flu, or that she wears the trousers in that relationship. And also words and slang words for body parts used against all genders. All of these are examples of sexist language which is totally inappropriate and unacceptable in today's society. What it leads to is that this is accepted, that often the casual use of language that denigrates gender fuels harmful and narrow ideas about what it is to be a man or a woman in society today. Sexual language contributes to a conducive context for sexual attitudes and behaviours to develop, and that can lead to sexual harassment. Sexist language is also linked with homophobic bullying. Pupils and teachers in the study that I looked at report phrases such as "that's so gay" being used by students to refer to boys doing things that are stereotypically associated with girls. And gender stereotyping is a problem too. And in schools, it reinforces particular ideas about what is expected and acceptable behaviour from women and men, such as that women are weak and emotional, while men are strong and brave, and these are quite common stereotypes. A significant proportion of teachers in this study reported that sexism is an everyday occurrence in the classroom, and that small, seemingly insignificant events together create an environment in which pupils of both sexes come to see each other as different. And this is a quote from the study. A young person, female student, said, "I thought I was going to fail maths and science, but the teacher told me it's okay because girls tend to be better at expressive lessons." And again, that's an unacceptable attitude because any young person can be better at any different subject. This is a quote from Rose, who participated in the study, and it was on the 29th of April last year. "I was assaulted on a school trip. I shouted at the boy to stop. His friends all laughed. My friend said nothing. I told my school and they never did anything. I felt humiliated and ignored. I struggled for a long time afterwards to walk in public spaces, and I would get jumpy when I saw men walking behind me. I was wearing my favourite top when it happened, and now I think of him every time I wear it. I refuse to get rid of it because it feels like I'm letting him win. I will shout despite the laughter. I will stand up for other women. I will be brave." So we want you to shout out because sexism is harmful. It produces feelings of worthlessness, self-censorship, changes in behaviour, and a deterioration in health. And sexism lies at the root of gender inequality. It affects women and girls disproportionately, but also affects other genders too. So we're all equal, we're all the same, everybody should be viewed in that way, and we want you to shout out about sexual harassment and language if it's used in our school. Please report that on to guidance or a teacher that you trust. Thank you.